इससे समझाओ।
विन ग्रिप टेक्नोलॉजी कुछ इस तरह सीमेंट को ग्रिप करता है, बिल्कुल टाइट।
SRMB TMT, चैंपियंस की पसंद।
Hi guys, are you all excited for the Indian T20 League 2021? Well, I am, and I have come across the great fantasy sports app called My 11 Circle, where you can use your cricket knowledge and skills to win in crores. The really unique feature about it is that what you can actually literally play with champions like Dada, Rahane, VVS Laxman on this app. Also, don't please hold your breath, because not only My 11 Circle have all these legendary cricketers on their app, they recently got the kings of energy and awesomeness on board. Ranveer Singh. Yeah, you heard it, that right. Ranveer Singh is on My 11 Circle. Download the app now.
Hi everyone, this is Norman Koshnak here from Extra Time. And Extra Time, you can see the name of the great platform that we have, some 750,000 plus subscribers and 10 times that in viewers. A great platform. Today we are looking at a double header. Of course, we've got two fairly significant games and a very, very significant team change in the first match. The Sunrise Hyderabad versus the Rajasthan Royals. And then the second match, of course, is Delhi Capitals versus a team that our guest today from the incredible platform of Bharat Army, Clinton Rebello, he is here. He is a Punjab Kings supporter and his team is playing next. So welcome, Clinton. Okay, so what I'll do first is I'm going to read something which is very significant regarding the selections of the team for Sunrise Hyderabad. You may or may not have seen the so-called media release which happened yesterday, announcing that Kane Williamson is the captain from today onwards for the rest of this tournament, which tells you straight away that Dave Warner is no longer captain. Now, it's more of a situation, you would argue, that Dave Warner has been left out as captain. Captain has actually been dropped or technically sacked as captain, whatever term you like to use. It wasn't based on David Warner resigning from the captaincy. So that's a very clear position. Tom Moody has spoken. He's the so-called SRH Director of Cricket. I still don't know what those terms mean. You've got a coach, is generally all you need. A Director of Cricket, I don't quite know what that means. I still don't get that. So, I mean, the final shade should be with the actual head coach, which is not Tom Moody. It's, in fact, Trevor Bayliss. So I prefer to be hearing from Trevor Bayliss, not from somebody in some ridiculous role called the Director of Cricket. So I'm immediately on the back foot there. I find that absurd. But anyway, that's my thoughts. So what Tom Moody, the so-called SRH Director of Cricket, said about the change in captaincy, it means first that Warner isn't playing today. So not only is Dave Warner not captain, he's also not in the playing 11. That's quite a mouthful. That's quite a change, because I would argue him being taken out of the captaincy. Okay, you make that decision. Okay, fine, but not being in the side is intriguing. It tells you a lot more about them, because I don't think David Warner's form's been all that bad as a batsman. Certainly not. His batting has been quite admirable. It hasn't been as fantastic as previous years, but him to be both out of the captaincy and out of the team is remarkable. So what Tom Moody has tried to explain himself, which is pretty damn hard, to make it sound, this is what I find embarrassing. These statements, they're double-edged swords. You're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. And I'm particularly upset with the way this whole thing's been approached. I actually feel sorry for Warner as well, even though Warner has done some things which he regrets. The way that Tom Moody has handled this is atrocious. I'm sorry. Giving us half lies and telling us crap about, oh, we're sad that he misses out. Rubbish. You've dropped him. Don't give us this garbage about, oh, I'm sorry he misses out. No. You don't have a captain who no longer plays and say he misses out. Clinton, you get my point. Let's call a spade a spade. If he's been dropped, just say it, okay? Don't make a fool of yourself saying rubbish like he misses out. Let me read the statement. This is how ridiculous this is. He has said, we had to make the hard call. Somebody has to miss out, and unfortunately it's him. What? He's been dropped. Okay? It's not, nobody misses out. He dropped. Use the right word. Okay? He's shocked and disappointed. Well, he should be. I mean, he should be shocked and disappointed because if he's been taken away from the captaincy, well, fine, but dropped altogether is a really dramatic point. I've been quite damning about Dave Warner, to be honest with you, Clinton. I've been damning with him a lot about certain things. But this statement's very interesting. All right. Then he goes on to say, anyone would be disappointed. Well, duh. So of course, it's a stupid comment. He has come to terms with the logic behind what we want to achieve from a franchise perspective. Okay. Just say the word dropped. Okay. He has rallied around the team, and more importantly, the team has rallied around him. That's just lip service. I'm sorry. What does that mean? I don't think what happened in the past isn't as relevant as why you have made some significant changes in the ground in the last 24 to 48 hours because they're playing badly. Okay, and maybe we should consider sacking some of the coaches as well. Don't have a scapegoat. Maybe you've got something to do with it as well. Dave Warner's been very vocal about the so-called team selections being inappropriate, like Punday, for example. So there's been issues there that quite notably have been mistaken. You've got Trevor Bayliss, who I have a lot of respect for. Trevor Bayliss is an amazing coach. I'm wondering about Tom Moody today. I don't know what role he really had. It should be Trevor Bayliss talking. The reason why Trevor Bayliss is not talking because he's probably not happy with what's going on either. Okay. So that's where we're at. It's a bombshell. Clinton, what do you think?
Yeah, I totally agree with what you've said. I mean, David Warner has been your IPL captain and has won you all an IPL trophy. Okay, so dropping him, asking him to step down from captaincy is fine to some extent because you have someone like a Kane Williamson who has taken you all to a 2018 IPL final when David Warner was not there. So making Williamson the captain and allowing David Warner to play as a batsman would be fine, but dropping him from the team altogether does not seem right somewhere because yesterday when I saw that statement, I was forced to think about the statement that David Warner made criticizing the selection panel of dropping Manish Pandey. So it doesn't seem that all is well between Warner and the coaching staff and the franchise. So I think that has resulted in him not being the captain and getting dropped from the team as well. I mean, Gautam Gambhir did a similar thing in 2018 when his team was struggling. He was the captain of Delhi Capitals, and he dropped himself. He didn't take his salary, and he didn't feature in the playing 11. I mean, when it comes from an individual, it's fine, but the team management taking such a drastic decision and dropping someone like a David Warner doesn't go well with me.
Oh, it's horrific. The reality is that I can't imagine that Warner will play another game for this club, this particular franchise. He probably will be on the open market by next week and could hopefully and rightfully could be swapped.
Correct, absolutely, and we are heading for a mega auction in the next year, so that clearly sends out a message that David Warner is not going to be retained, nor will he be right to match, and he's going to another team, that's for sure.
But I mean, David Warner is box office. We know that people actually watch games because he's playing. Same with Chris Gale. Same with Pollard. We watch them because we want to see that person play. I'll be honest with you. When Dave Warner plays for Australia, when he gets out, I generally go away for a bit of a coffee and drink and go watch something because I want to watch Dave Warner back because he's spectacular. But that's the positive of Dave Warner. The negative of Dave Warner is he should never come out with statements like he did as captain. Whether he believes it or not, he's made a major blunder too. When he didn't actually state the 4 players that were in the side, he told the media, "Here's the team sheet. Go and find out who the 4 players were." That was atrocious. Bagging the selection process, even though he may well be right, is not what a captain should be doing. So he has done very bad things too, but it's only getting worse. It's not getting better.
Yeah.
Really,
and for a player like David Warner, it's really sad. I mean, it's really sad.
All right. we now have to take into account that they're playing Rajasthan Royals. They're severely depleted anyway. Having like Stokes, Archer, a whole host of players. And their players, their reliance on Samson, who's done pretty well, and Butler is enormous. So they've got some real issues as well. This is a very strange game, this one. I quite frankly think both of these sides will not figure in the last four. They will not be in the playoffs. There's no hope. I can't imagine. Sunrise Hyderabad have to win every single game, which they won't do. Rajasthan Royals are unlikely to win as many games either. So really, we're looking at two of the bottom table teams. Admittedly, they can upset sides in the last half of the competition, but they're unlikely to make the finals, which is going to be interesting.
Yes.
That's one thing. That's the first game. And the Dave Warner factor puts a massive cloud over the whole thing. It really does. But we've got to question the coaching. Now, Trevor Bayliss, I know Trevor Bayliss personally. I had a lot of time for him. Okay, so my concerns are that Trevor Bayliss has been stuffed around with by Tom Moody. I talk often to Clinton about the balance of what you see on the social media platforms. We see, birthday cakes, pinball machines, games, parties. Everyone's happy. Everyone's the best of mates. They're hugging. Everything's wonderful. Correct? We see everything wonderful. Have you seen one negative thing on any of those social media? Have you seen one negative thing? Never. You find the negatives by watching the bench during the game. Then you see the real story. We saw Warner there, and you had Williamson about half a mile away having a private chat. The positive, you see Coley smiling and high-fiving and looking at Dan Christian and making comments. The synergies are clear when you look at the bench. KKR, Alan Morgan sitting there not saying a damn word. No one's talking to him. No one's... Punt and Ricky Ponson are like glue, talking to each other every time.
Yes.
That's where you see the real team dynamics. Not some rubbish, whiz-bang computer game and a cake, everyone getting a cake, putting it over their face. That's just show. That's totally show. It is. And I'm afraid that's where we need to be very critical of the social media platforms. If you're going to do a good job social media platform, tell the truth. Show everything. You see the movie which was on Amazon about the Australian cricket team. You saw Justin Langer frustrated, upset, walk out of rooms. Yes. Real story. We have to expect that. They play badly, they're upset. They throw something down, they get angry, whatever. That's the real story. Not this, aren't we all great friends? Everything's perfect. Because I can tell you what, you go back through the SRH videos, you won't see anyone not happy. They're editing half the video out, aren't they? They must be. KKR and SRH in particular, those two are the worst. Rajasthan Royals, because of their loss of players, it's understandable. And the likes of Punjab Kings, because some of their bowlers haven't performed well. But the top four sides, there's a lot of camaraderie. Anyway, so that's my talk about that. Clinton, so you're a Punjab Kings fan. Who do you like? What do you think Punjab Kings' chances are in the second match?
They should look to carry on the winning momentum that they've got against RCB. After that really thumping and comprehensive victory against them, and RCB being in the top four, defeating a side like them really would give them a lot of confidence going forward. And a similar thing happened last year wherein we had our backs against the wall and we punched above our weight and won 5 out of 5, eventually losing the last 2. So qualification for playoffs, we've always missed by just a small margin, be it 2 points or be it one small match which we should have won. So let's see, fingers crossed. And Punjab always have looked to play positive cricket. I mean, with an over-dependence on KL Rahul and a struggling middle order. So
now, I mean, Rajasthan Royals Punjab Kings are probably the only side in the bottom half of the table who have a serious chance of entering the top 4. After Mumbai Indians won yesterday, they made it difficult. Made it really difficult. Because if Mumbai Indians lost yesterday, then Rajasthan Royals would have been potentially in the top 4. But Mumbai showed their authority yesterday, didn't they? Oh my God, Pollard was fantastic.
Yeah.
So Rajasthan Royals, let's get back to the
Absolutely.
first game. Rajasthan Royals, they have 2 new South African players, don't they? Then the second one being Gerald Coetzee. Gerald Coetzee, who's come in. He'll be fresh-eyed, bushy-tailed. I'm not sure. I don't think he's ready yet because he has to go through quarantine, so he'll be a way off. And I'm not sure whether the other player is ready either, to be honest with you. So they may not be in a position to actually place him aside.
Yeah.
So the interesting thing as well from the first game is with the Sunrise Hyderabad, not forgetting that Trevor Bayliss was the coach of England. And who did he have as their opening pair? Roy and Bairstow.
Johnny Bairstow and Roy. Yeah.
So
Correct.
you might think there might be some favouritism there of those 2 being placed in the side for sure. Now,
Correct.
I really wonder, Warner probably won't play another game. I'm guessing he won't play another game. And he will opt to look for another team. I'm thinking that's what's going to happen here. Because if there's so much ill will going on between Warner and the coaches, then I can't imagine him wanting to stay around. If I were him now, the smart thing for him to do is go to another team immediately and suddenly play well for another team. That would be, I reckon that would be the best vengeance of his situation. Because I can't imagine him hanging around the team. He'll be, knowing Dave Warner the way I do, he will be insulted. Do you want to know something funny?
Absolutely.
Do you want to know something funny about
Yes.
maybe what, an hour and a half ago in Sydney, Australia? I was at Coogee Beach. Coogee Beach is a suburb about 7 kilometres from the city centre. I went down to the beach. I was interviewing people for my channel, okay? Eyes on Cricket. And Dave Warner lives not far away. He's not here now, of course. But I went down to the Surf Lifesaver, the Surf Lifesaving Club at Coogee. And I went up to the head Surf Lifesaver and I wanted to interview him. And I said, hey, do you know anything about cricket? I'd like to talk to you about the IPL. He looked at me and said, is this a Gia? Are you stirring me? I said, no. And I'm wondering what his problem was. Do you know who this man was? Dave Warner is married to Candace. Candace had a brother.
Yeah.
That was his brother, her brother. So and he told me that he asked me straight away about, what do you think of Dave Warner? And he said, Dave Warner's not playing today. So he told me himself, Dave Warner's not playing today. And he said that Dave Warner's shocked through his wife, Candace. So they've already discussed that. So intriguing. Isn't that a bizarre situation to meet someone randomly and for them to be, and I'm interviewing them on Indian television, and he goes, oh, no, I can't do that. I said, why not? And he explained why. I said, I think I know why. It would have been a very awkward interview if I would have interviewed him. Imagine. Anyway, that's a true story. And so what I do is I do some street talks to various people about Indian cricket. It's very interesting. And another man he made lunches for Shane Watson and his family. So it's a rather cricketing hub at Coogee. It's very interesting. All right, that's an aside. Back to the game. Who do you think's going to win the first match? What's your thoughts?
Looking at both the teams, the way they are stacked up, Rajasthan look more favorites to win because of what's going on off the field with Sunrisers. I think all the players themselves will not be in a proper state of mind, and with all this messing up by the coaching staff, the franchise owners and the players, so it does have a lot of impact. You look at teams like Mumbai, wherein everything is smooth, everything goes well on and off the field. There's a lot of fun, there's a lot of banter, there's everything. Players are well looked after, their families are well looked after. And then you come to a team like Sunrisers Hyderabad, and there's all the two camps set up, disagreements between the coaching staff. It doesn't look good. So Rajasthan Royals, on the other hand, will feel strengthened with the 2 new South Africans joining them. And even they've won 2, and Sunrisers have managed to win only 1. So Rajasthan look favorites to beat SRH.
I do understand your reasoning behind having Rajasthan Royals favoured to win. I do understand your reasoning. But sometimes the wounded tiger type concept may be
Yes.
in Sunrisers. They might be really upset with this whole thing and they may bounce back. But if Tom Moody maybe shuts up and doesn't say anything and stops making statements about rubbish and just tell the truth. If he just said he's been sacked because of his attitude in the first few games, then that would be a fine answer. I'd accept that. Nikhil, how are you? Oops, hello. Nikhil, are you 7 foot tall? Are you 7 foot tall or something? How come you look so big? Oh, okay, we're gonna look closer. Am I big enough now? That's better. I was big enough. Okay. Nikhil, did we talked last night at Warner, didn't we? Huh? We talked last night at Warner?
Yeah. We had a great talk about Warner.
The reality is that it's happened, and yeah, look, it's first we have to think about the fact that probably Warner deserved to not be captain. You might argue that, okay? But they've made it much worse by dropping him. Don't you think they should have cleverly, somehow, if they're a good management team, should have left Warner in the side and done that? And that would have been a better way of handling this.
Yeah.
Because this was poorly handled on all sides. The question is now, does KKR look at this and take Owen Morgan out of the captaincy? Because I would argue Owen Morgan, batting-wise, has batted particularly badly throughout the whole series, and his captaincy has been very ordinary. Compared to Warner, Warner's up there and Morgan's here.
Yeah.
So if Warner's been dropped, Morgan should be dropped as well. I mean, logically.
But the question is, KKR doesn't have leader they can look up. Because Dinesh Karthik gave up captaincy last year, and until candidate was offered, and here he leaves captaincy. And I think changing captaincy some means bring down the confidence of the players. I know the way they are performing, that's also I see a potential candidate over there.
Okay. The reality is, Nikhil, you could put Shubman Gill as captain. Why couldn't you? You could do that.
Yeah, but his season has been pretty bad as well. He hasn't also performed. There are talks about Gill being dropped, like Mayank Agarwal also had been dropped for Punjab Kings game last day. Oh, sorry, he had a shoulder injury. Yeah.
Okay.
There were talks.
Look, I'm not suggesting Owen Morgan should be sacked tomorrow. I'm not saying that. But there has to be a fair degree of attention now on what KKR do. Because what's happened to Sunrise Hyderabad is an example of a team that's been badly led. Okay? And KKR is in the same situation. And they've got massive issues between coach and captain. McCullum and Morgan, clearly, Brendan McCullum was doing like Warner did, vocalising his concern quite a lot in a rather negative way and disparaging way. So one thing we've all got to learn, whether you're a captain or a coach, you do not air your dirty laundry in public. You don't talk about the negativity because it destabilises the whole team and the whole franchise. You have to have this. It's too late now for Moody and that to come out with rubbish like, what, I mean, I'm going to go back to that. It's the most pathetic thing I've ever seen written. What did he say? That the team's rallying around him and he's rallying around the team. What a load of rubbish. Dave Warner won't be rattling around anyone because he'll be bitterly disappointed. I mean, it's just garbage. He's been dropped out of the team. A captain from being captain to being dropped out of the team is a dramatic result. Either way, whoever's wrong, it doesn't matter. Come out and tell the truth. I respect somebody who says, Dave Warner's been dropped. He has some discretions. We had to deal with it. Okay? We know the truth. Done. No more discussion. Correct? And here, We're looking at the sentences, turning over the letters upside down, T's and I's and dots, and looking at our dictionary, what words mean what. The thing is, it's just a game of stupidity. Actually, it's actually insulting us as fans of the game to hear this rubbish, because we all know the truth. We all know the truth. Tell us the truth. Don't say, "Oh, he misses out." Tom Moody,
That is just putting it up in a dramatic way. Nothing else.
Misses out. I mean, look, it actually insults Clinton, Nicola, and I, our intelligence, that you're saying this out. We all know the truth. Then just tell us the truth. I mean, no one's going to think badly of it. Okay, he's been dropped because he doesn't shoot things. Okay, done, finished. We understand, right? Move on. We don't need to question him. Don't give us rubbish. Sorry, I'm being really honest, because I'm a supporter of the game, and I'm a lover of the game, as we all are. We've got huge fan bases. The Barrett Army are one of the biggest fan bases. They don't want to be told a lie about Kohli. One thing about Indian cricketers, they will come out and say something, and they'll stick to it. They'll say, "Well, I haven't played well enough. He's been sacked." Ravi Shastri. What if Ravi Shastri handled this matter? He would come out today and say, "Warner's been sacked." Okay, next person. He'd deal with it, and deal with it brilliantly. That's the difference. I'm afraid this is just rubbish. I mean, you can't give a media manager the job to write these things, because they're going to give you fluff. Okay. Anyway, all right. Well, let's move on. It looks as though the IPL debut. There's no IPL debut for Kurtz yet, because he's not at a quarantine. Williamson's obviously going to be captain. Where will Kane Williamson bat is the next question. Will he bat middle order or upper order? What do you guys think? Nikhil, what do you think?
Well, I think he'll bat at number 4, because most probably I see Jason coming in for Warner. So Jason Xtra gonna open and Manish Pandey at 3, and the number 4 would be a near perfect spot for Williamson to bat, because he can bat as per the team's requirement. If the team requires him to play an role, he can do that, and if the team requires to play an aggressive brand of cricket, which he can, and which we all saw in 2018. So yeah, I think number be an ideal position for him.
There's been some news. The Delhi wicketkeeper batter Anuj Rawat has been given his Rajasthan Royals cap.
Okay. So he's a great talent to watch out for.
So that's he won't be keeping necessarily. I think Butler will still keep the keeping role, but he's coming. So, sorry, my apologies. Samson will be keeping still, and then that's okay. So Samson, my apologies, but Samson's keeping. But the reality is that Rawat won't come in for the keeping role. Will come in as a batter. So that sounds like a positive move. Right. Super Kings are a great example of other franchises. Trust the process. We're talking about Chennai Super Kings, of course. Look, MS Dhoni would not have handled the situation the way the Warner situation. He's captain anyway, but the polish of a man like MS Dhoni, or for that matter, Rohit Sharma, or for that matter, KL Rahul, and probably also Kohli, the way they handle things is what you need to see. I'm particularly disappointed because I have a lot of faith in Trevor Bayliss. I'm putting all the blame on Moody, to be honest with you. If he's coming out and reading the statement, Bayliss has been extremely silent, relatively silent. But Bayliss, he calls a spade a spade. Okay? So I respect him. I know him, because when he was with Sri Lanka, we had discussions about certain Sri Lanka selections which were rather dubious. When the president comes in and changes the team after the team's been selected, can you believe it? The president of the country getting a hold of the team was, nah, he's out, he's in. I would say, excuse me, President, get lost. We're the ones picking the cricket team here. I don't care if you're the president. I probably wouldn't go very far if I said that, but anyway. The reality is, okay, so that's good. Anuj Rawat is in the side. That's a positive for Rajasthan Royals, isn't it? It's beginning to look more and more like Rajasthan Royals mentally are in the right headspace. They're down, they've lost players, but then they're getting new players in, and an element of positivity. But it's too late, too little too late, probably, I have to say. All right. Nikhil, who do you go for? What's your team?
So today,
Your favourite team? Your team.
my favorite team is KKR.
Okay, of course, you're from Kolkata, of course. Then Clinton goes, you go for you're wearing your Punjab Kings, so you guys are, clearly not concerned about today's match too much. Maybe the second game more. I don't know. All right. Kane Williamson, in the first game as captain of the season, has won the toss and chosen to bowl.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that says a lot. Kane Williamson has come in there, and I'm pretty sure he would have told everyone who was playing, who was in, who was out, with a smile, and didn't bag his selectors. I think there's a good chance I'm right. I haven't heard the speech, but Kane Williamson's probably said the right thing, I think. Don't you?
Yeah.
I don't think he would have said, the selectors, and I'm not reading the team out. You read the team out. I don't think he would have said that. So that's one positive for SRH. Actually, it's really hard. We're bagging SRH because of what's happening. They've imploded, you would argue. But Kane Williamson is such a good captain and such a good bloke. He could be just the person that might bring them around, so you don't know. It's going to be. It could well be a great match. It'll be hard to beat yesterday's match, let's be honest. That match was box office, wasn't it? Mumbai Indians and CSK. What a match. What a match. Sorry?
The best match of the season so far.
By far. By far. This game today might be the most watched, not because of the play, but of the body language. Watch the bench. The SRH bench. We should glue ourselves to that bench and see what's happening on that bench. First of all, whether Warner's whether Warner's actually in the dugout.
Or he's
interesting.
sitting in the hotel.
Sorry?
You should see whether he's sitting in the dugout or sitting in the hotel.
And whether if Dave Warner's got a lot of guts, he will be sitting there. But I think he probably won't be. Pretty hard one. He's not going to he's going to be very hard to motivate. Imagine being captain one day and the next day you're no longer captain, you're not even in the side. It's pretty amazing. Okay, so at this point we don't have too many decisions on the actual team sheet. It won't be far away, but the good news is that Williamson's on the front foot, having won the toss and elected to choose to bowl. This, of course, is at Delhi.
Warner is not playing, and Nabi is coming. Mohammad Nabi.
Oh, really?
That's the only change.
Yeah. And Bhuvi and Samad have come back, and Suchit and Siddharth Kaul are not playing.
Okay, can you read the batting order? Can you actually read it? Can you go through it slowly? Read it.
Batting order has not yet come. I just read it from CrickBuzz, just the changes. The batting order will be out in some time.
Yeah. With all due respect to CrickBuzz, until they tell me the team sheet, I don't trust them until we actually see the team sheet. Okay?
Yeah, correct.
I mean, yes, there are three. Did you say there were three changes?
3 changes, yeah.
Yes. Nabi in for Warner. Bhuvi is back and Samad is back in. Well, that's a good decision. And Bhuvi, of course, that's a good decision. So Samson, okay, I can read out what was exactly said. So Williamson has said 3 changes: Nabi, Bhuvi, and Saad. 2 guys are back after injury. Davey, Suchit, and Cole miss out. We know a group. It's important to come together and build on some positive parts. It's been a tough day, like I said. Obviously, the change is fairly sudden. As a group, try and improve all facets, and hopefully they reflect the result. It's important we adjust the positions and play with a smile. That's a pretty accurate way of saying it. Okay? Samson, actually, we played a game here, and we played the last game. The wicket was good. You never know what scores will get set. It can be 190 or 200 plus, 210 plus. Jadev Unadkat is taking some rest, and Tyagi is in. Well, Tiagi's he certainly looked good, especially back in Australia. He went very close to being selected. And Anuj Raju is making a debut in place of Shivam Dube. Interesting that Dube's been dropped. I mean, Dube hasn't performed that well, but whether he should be dropped, yeah, well, anyway, we'll see. That's interesting. So the reality is,
Well,
I like Tiagi's selection. Yeah.
I was wondering why Tyagi was sitting on the bench. He had played last year, and I wonder why they were making him talent like Karthik Tyagi sit on the bench. Yeah, good to see him getting game time today.
Oh yeah. So interesting to have Nabi got to go. I mean, I would have thought perhaps Roy or Holder were the first two I would have selected.
Yeah. Even my preference would have been same, Roy or Holder.
Interesting selection, actually, because now Nabi's bowling form. I mean, he's not saying he's not good, but it'd be interesting to see how the dynamics of that team. Who opens the batting now? The Sunrisers.
Yeah, who will open? That is the discussion also. Along with the rest of who's going to open.
I don't think that was. I think they needed to get a batter in for a batter. To be honest with you, I would have thought. I think they made a small mistake there.
Yeah.
Okay, there's some more things coming through, but yeah, the main thing is okay. Tell me your theory as to why Kane Williamson decided to bowl. Clint.
I think he probably felt that the wicket would get better chasing, and given that Rajasthan have batted first against Mumbai in their last day game and lost, that too would have had an impact on Kane Williamson's decision to chase. And also, when you know your target, you can pace your innings and accordingly assess. So chasing is always better, and there won't be any due factor today because it's a day game. So yeah, chasing would always be better.
Oh, that's the fact is a day game would have significantly influenced the decision. Now, Clinton, my pet hate is the word chasing. You bat or bowl, you don't chase. You either bat or bowl. You don't chase.
Okay.
Because chasing implies you're behind and you're losing.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're saying open with Johnny and Anish. In the opening slot weakens the middle order. Indian players need to fire for SRH. Samad and Bhuvi are good addition.
Okay. So, yeah, the Rajasthan Royals batting lineup is Butler, Jaswal, Samson, Miller, Parag, Rawat, who's batting quite low in the order. Tawatia, Morris, Tiagi, Sagaraya, and Rahman. Pretty stable unit, to be honest. Pretty stable unit. So, what was I going to say? I asked something before. What was I asking? Did I get the question out? I'm not sure. Nikhil, from your perspective, go on with why they're batting. Okay, the fact that there's no dew. Okay, we get that. The previous matches on Delhi have proven that's the way to go. Correct? There's a trend.
Yeah, because if they know what to chase, they can plan their innings in that manner and accordingly go for it. And they don't know what's a good score on this pitch. Yesterday we saw 119 getting chased down. So yeah, all the teams would prefer to chase here in Delhi.
We've. I think Clinton, you mentioned earlier, you thought Rajasthan Royals in the box seat. I think Nikhil, you also thought that. I think that as well. But if Williamson is at the helm, he's probably the one captain that could turn this around. His calmness, his direction, his experience could be just the tonic. And I'll tell you what, if Williamson leads well and they win the match, the selectors and the coaches will sit back and see where we made the right decision. No, you didn't make the right decision. You got to win, but you didn't make the right decision. Don't fool yourself. Coaches don't claim they've made the right decision. You haven't. You made a debacle out of this. Okay. Just a word of warning: if you ever guys ever become coaches or selectors, just tell the truth. Okay. Otherwise, he looks silly. I think. All right, so Bairstow and hello. By the way, they've written the batting order. Bairstow and Williamson are opening. By the team sheet, it looks as though Bairstow and Williamson opening. Pandey first drop, Jalav, then Shankar, Nabi, Samad. Samad's a pretty worthy middle order batsman. He could really be the tonic there. Rashid
Finisher as
Khan.
well.
Sorry?
A good finisher as well.
Yeah.
Ahmad.
And Kumar, Khalil, and Sandeep Sharma. So, you know, if they're not going to use Roy and obviously Warner opening the batting, Kane Williamson is the sort of player that could dominate and bat the whole innings through. And the fact is that they're batting second. They'll know what total they've got. And if they bowl well enough, they can command from the start. I've always said that the top three batters are where the game is won or lost. The middle order has to be good too, yes. To finish, yes. But if you have a good stable top order that actually bats to the end, you'll generally win games. So maybe that's the reason Kane Williamson up front, he's going to take the brunt of the pressure himself under all the circumstances. Quite commendable, really. Oh, hang on. Now, hang on. I've read the team sheets out, all right? There is a carding, it's the way they card the players. I'm actually saying Samad has been carded as opener. So maybe I'm wrong. We'll wait and see whether Samad or Williamson actually open.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If Samad opens, well, he's an attacking batsman, isn't he? Well, set a good platform. Anyway, we'll see what happens with that. All right. So, thoughts, guys? Give me some of your wisdom. Clinton, you start. You're from Goa. You should be relaxed. Be at the beach. Be in some resort, like a cocktail or something.
No, COVID situation here is very, very bad. So we are all indoors here. Not and we are in a lockdown at the moment.
But you can save your cocktail indoors, though, can't you?
Yes.
All right. So, what's your thoughts? Oh, Chandresh, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
Good. Are you feeling better?
Much better.
You look younger.
It's actually my younger son.
You've got a better makeup artist today. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Now, Chandresh, of course, is a very senior journalist. Also has had the media manager role of the ICC, learned fellow. Bit cheeky sometimes, but otherwise he's okay. No, no, he's good. Good Valley. Good to have you here.
Happy to be here.
Can we have the media manager's take on the statement about Warner? Did you like it? Would you have worded it the same way?
No, I wouldn't have, because I managed the transition from Gautam Gambhir to Shreyas Iyer at Delhi Daredevils. So we did it quite differently. We had both Gautam and Shreyas at the press conference.
Good.
And we made a proper statement about it. And we made similar noises about him supporting the team and blah blah. But the fact is that this is not the way they should have handled the issue.
Exactly.
It shows a lack of respect to David Warner, because he's been a captain for about 6-7 years now, and it's not his fault that the team is in this position. He was not at the auction table when they picked the players. He was away in Australia. The guys who are at the auction table need to be pulled up for this. And amazingly, the guys who are at the auction table are taking the decision on David Warner being sacked as captain, which is a bit of a surprise.
If you're referring to Tom Moody there, aren't you?
Tom Moody, Trevor Bayliss.
Brad Harris, Julius Lakshman.
Yeah. Look, it's such an Australian feel about that whole lot, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're all Australians. It's very, to be honest with you, they should be dropping some of the selectors and coaches, the so-called this rubbish position, director of coaching. Chandresh, can you explain to me what a director of coaching is? You have one head coach. Who is this director of coaching? What is that?
just one more layer of bureaucracy and red tapeism.
Exactly.
And I think that, say, someone like a Tom Moody coming, if he was sacked as a coach, why would you bring him back as director of cricket? And what does it tell Trevor Bayliss? It tells Trevor Bayliss that even though you've been successful as a coach with the English team and with other teams around the world, we still and with KKR, we still don't trust your credentials. If I was Trevor Bayliss, I would be quitting now.
Chandris, I love you to death. I love you to death. You are singing my song. I know Trevor Bayliss personally. You couldn't get a better man, a more decent, a more honest, hard-working, truthful man. Tom Moody, what planet is he on? What planet is he on? Who is he fooling? He should have the guts to leave as well, because Trevor Bayliss is. There's no doubt that Trevor Bayliss has been left high and dry here, and this whole statement of Tom Moody is disgusting. I'm glad we've got someone of quality here. Chandris is one of the best media managers on the planet, and he knows rubbish when he sees it. And you know what, Chandris? The best thing a team can do is tell the truth, correct? The best thing a media manager can do is tell the truth. Then you're respected. If you give us fluff, and we all see through the fluff, you've embarrassed. And I think, what did I say, guys, earlier, Clint, Nickel? You actually insult the fans of the world. You insult our intelligence. To think we're going to listen to that garbage and believe it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, it's like office politics. When you have two guys at the same level and one guy is promoted above him, what's the point? The other guy will eventually quit. That's what has happened. Trevor Bayliss and Tom Moody are career coaches. Both are at the same level. Now, effectively, Trevor Bayliss is reporting to Tom Moody. It's like, it's like Owen Morgan and I don't know, maybe there's some other parallel that someone can think of, but I think it's appalling, and it was bound to happen because it was designed to fail. And
Exactly.
and the problem in the IPL is that some of the franchises go ahead with too many coaches and coaching staff. You don't even have that much time to train, Norman.
Exactly.
Because you're half the time in the hotel or you're playing, and you're half the time having optional training sessions. What's the point of having so many coaches?
Chandrish, my opinion of you now has gone through the roof. Okay, you are singing my song. The way everything that's come out of your mouth just then was gold. And Nikhil and you agree. What Chandrish is saying is exactly what I was saying, right? That's the way we handle it. That is what you do. Just come out and say, "This is what we've done." Bang, kill the mood. Kill the lies.
Actually, it feels hurtful to the cricketing community because we all know what's going on behind the scenes, and then the managers come and say something which is completely different. Yeah, that is, as he all said, that is a mark of disrespect towards the player as well.
Absolutely. Just tell the truth. We're not idiots. We've all played cricket. We've all watched cricket. We're all aware of what's going on. Just say, this is what's happened. We've had to move Dave Warner along. It's unfortunate, yes, but he wasn't missing. He's not missing out. Chandris, please promise me. You never say a player misses out unless it's genuine.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Player only misses out when he's played really, really well and just couldn't beat someone who's playing really well. That's what both players playing well, one misses out. Yes. The ones who are playing badly, they get dropped. They're sacked.
Yeah.
There's no beating, there's no missing out. Lose that spell. Lose it.
Absolutely. That's the only thing that they've got right today. The fact that they've said that David Warner has been dropped. That's the only thing that they've got. That they've got right. Because I think that they have completely mismanaged the whole situation.
Debacle.
There are ways and there are ways. You've had changes in captaincy in previous editions of the IPL with other franchises as well. And it didn't create a whimper. But this one is going to, because of the way it was managed.
Absolutely. It's gotten worse. It's actually gotten worse. It hasn't gotten better. It's actually gotten worse. And
my view was the year Warner was banned, Sunrisers did well, and I think made it to the final.
Yeah.
They should never have let go of Williamson as captain. So
Absolutely.
what if Warner came back? You reward somebody who's also a national captain. So I think it was a complete mismanagement since about 3 years now. And they put Williamson in a situation where he played only if the other foreigners failed or if the Indian core failed. Williamson should be starting the 11 for Sunrisers before anybody else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Should have been the first person picked. Well,
Absolutely.
should have been the first person picked. Okay. Look, we need to make these points. We need not to muck around with it. We need to state the facts. Every single person I've spoken to has been insulted for their intelligence of this whole thing. They must think we're absolute idiots to believe what they've said.
Yeah.
We need the truth. Just say that no one's going to say, okay, you've been dropped. Okay, we know what's going on. Done. We move on to the next question. You don't need to discuss anymore. But if you say fluffy stuff, we're going to talk about it for the next 6 months. And I'm particularly interested in hearing what Devious Luxman's got to say, because I'm pretty sure he'd be sitting at the back of the room going like this, watching what the banter between Moody and whomever in this discussion, and would have been going, oh my God, what a disaster. And really, Luxman can tell you exactly what's going on. He would be saying what Chandresh is saying, a complete, unmitigated disaster.
Yeah.
I really feel sorry for Luxman because I'm pretty sure he had nothing to do with this. As you said, had Moody in particular, and to an extent Trevor Barnes, but I'm leaving Trevor Barnes, had Moody think they come into the IPL as if they're the best at what they do.
Yeah.
They feel it, they show it, and they act it. Okay? They actually think they're superior to the Indian management, players, coaches, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that's true. Okay? Their attitude's always been, we're going to come in here because we're the best. Well, they may have been the best in whatever roles years ago, but they certainly are not now. And they need to be humble in what they do. Again, I mean, I was talking before about Trevor Bayliss and Sangakkara at a press conference in Sri Lanka when the team was announced. And Trevor Bayliss was fuming. Why? Because the president changed 2 or 3 of the players to side after they, as the coaching staff, picked their side and it was changed in front of them. They were livid and they were ready to walk out. That's because Trevor Bayliss is true to his name. He honestly betrayed that. He didn't beat around the bush. Trevor Bayliss, just go on to Moody. Mate, you go and talk. You're the one that's mucked this up. You go and talk. I really think that's the case. Anyway, Nico, you're gone. Bit skewed over. But we'll be wrapping up now. The game is about to start in about 3, 4, 5 minutes. Selections. Clinton's going for... Who are you going for?
Rajasthan.
Okay. Nikhil? Who are you going for? What team? Who's going to win the first game? Nikhil?
I can't hear you.
You can't hear me. Who's going to win? Who's going to win? Rajasthan?
I think it's going to be SRH.
Oh, SRH. Okay. Chandris, do you think SRH can get themselves off the carpet?
I think they can.
Yeah.
I think
Under
they can
Williams.
because I think also their rivals are not so strong.
Unfortunately not. You're right. But I don't want Tom Moody to be coming after the game and going, oh, due to my great selections, we won today. That would be awful. That'd be hypocritical. So SRH for the bottom row. I'm actually going to go SRH as well, to be honest with you. I think they're just simply a better team, regardless of the Warner. They're still a better side. But both of these sides are not going to figure in the top 4 anyway, so let's be honest about that. I'm so glad you came, Sanders. I'm so glad you came. I mean, now you've validated, because I thought that Nikhil and Clinton were going, oh my God, Norman's being too strong. But you've said exactly what I said. I feel good now. I feel good. I actually love you. I love you, Sanders, in a special sort of way. Not the way you're thinking, in a cricketing way, okay? I'm going to make it clear. Okay.
That's much relief for my wife.
Don't tell your wife. All right. Okay. Quickly, the second game. So if we're going 3 SRH, Clinton, if you win, you can be very smart, okay? You can make comments about it. All right? The next game, Delhi Capitals versus, well, I don't even need to ask Clinton. Delhi Capitals versus Punjab Kings.
Yeah,
Clinton,
Punjab.
Oh, really? I would never have guessed. Okay. Can you imagine if Clinton sat there and went for another team? That'd be a shock. Nikhil, who are you going for?
Well, I think DC is gonna win tonight just because of the supreme form they are in.
Who?
Delhi Capitals.
Okay, good. Chandresh.
I'm also going with Delhi Capitals because I think they're too strong a side for Punjab right now.
Yeah, I have to agree. Delhi Capitals again. Hang on a minute. 3 of us are going for Delhi Capitals. Clinton's doing going Punjab. If Punjab Kings and Rajasthan Royals, you're going to be so smug there and with your cocktail there in Goa. I tell you, you're going to be very smug, aren't you?
Fingers
Did
crossed.
you know the COVID rules in Goa are a bit different? In Goa, you're allowed to have 3 cocktails. Even though COVID's there, you're allowed to have 3 cocktails, I believe. This is Goa. All right. Chandresh, you're not laughing. All right. Okay, guys. All right. Thanks, guys. It's been a wonderful show. And Chandresh, you made my day. You really have.
Happy.
I'm very
Happy that I've done. Yeah.
I'm happy. All right, guys. Nicola, you've been great. Clinton, we'll see how good you are with your selections. We'll talk about it later. All right, guys. Thanks a lot for coming. Barrett Army, fantastic. My 11 Circle will be coming up next with a commercial. The sponsors here. I'm sure they put their money on Delhi Capitals. They too. All right, guys. Thanks a lot. All the best. See you next time. See you on the post game if you're here. We'll be plenty to talk about. Thanks, guys. Hi, guys. Are you all excited for the Indian T20 League 2021? Well, I am, and I have come across the great fantasy sports app called My 11 Circle, where you can use your cricket knowledge and skills to win in crores. The really unique feature about it is that what you can actually literally play with champions like Dada, Rahane, VVS Laxman on this app. Also, please hold your breath, because not only My 11 Circle have all these legendary cricketers on their app, they recently got the kings of energy and awesomeness on board. Ranveer Singh. Yeah, you heard it, that right. Ranveer Singh is on My 11 Circle. Download the app now.